About 20 minutes, gentlemen, so.
Thank you all
please
for allowing us to
proceed.
be here, ladies and gentlemen. I'm proud to see my senator there, Albert Robinson. Seen many of y'all in the past with veterans issues. Respectfully disagree with the lady about the pill problem, because I also transport prisoners. Our court system is overburdened with OCs that sell for $45 a piece on the street, Xanaxes. They're shooting up lower tabs. We've got a pill problem in this country, and if the lady doesn't believe me, go to the court system, walk in, talk to some of these people in there being charged with pill-related problems. That being said, got a few papers here. This is not my speech. This is NPRC's record on me, my DD-214, DD-215. Shows I'm 100% service-connected, total and permanent. The date was 1991 for PTSD and 0 for a back condition. We'll get into that. Here's a X-ray. It actually came in December 21st, 2010. It's actually an MRI. Shows I have T12L1 compression fracture, broken back, herniated disc from L3 on down. And over here's my recent blood work at the VA hospital. It shows I'm as healthy as Knox. I don't need any drugs. I am drug-free. I've smoked pot. I've never wanted to put a needle in my veins. I've never done anything other than that. Have no desire to stick cocaine up my nose. Unless I'm drug-free, if you want to yank a hair out of my head, please don't do it on top that's thin enough. But, and if I choose so later on, I will smoke a little pot to make me be able to get away from the nightmares. But let's go back to the start here. Went to Vietnam, trained for a year, went over with unit, machine gunner. Yes, I went in some tunnels with a rope tied on my foot. Had to yank once for more rope and 2 to yank me out of there. And if it didn't yank, they'd drag my dead body out. Pulled 46 night ambushes in 52 nights. I was told we did over 80 night ambushes total. In the Mekong Delta, became infantry squad leader. I'm no hero, I just survived. I lost a lot of good men. There's 6 of us still alive out of my little infantry bunch that get together, and they confirmed what we went through and that we lived, but we were very fortunate. Good luck and some good training. Came back from Vietnam, got shot at coming out of fire base. 3 days later, I'm a civilian in San Francisco and proceeded to be a drunk. Not an alcoholic. I was a down the gutter drunk, and I loved it. I'd go to work. I'd get a drink at noon if I could. Case of beer a day was just to keep me hydrated. One Christmas, I drank 4/5 of whiskey from Christmas to New Year's. Finally, years later, well, actually went to VA sometime after. The back was killing me because I'd been hit in the head in Vietnam. Just a little wound, didn't hurt anything. Knocked me down a little bit and covered that up. Another incident is sort of blowed up. Got my back hurt. There's 2 stories. One, a mine blew up on me, and the other one, I think, was I was on a Jeep to go around behind a village, kill some enemies coming out, and we hit a rice paddy that threw me up. And I remember 2 weeks of heat treatments, back out in the field with a handful of Darvons. Welcome to pharmaceuticals. My back hurt, carrying about, with a machine gun, M60 machine gun, probably about 60 to 80 pounds, depending on if we've been hit recently. We had a habit of carrying more grenades and ammunition if we've been hit recently. Just something about staying alive. But anyway, I hurt quite badly, but everybody hurts. Went to the VA, and they said, oh, it's just stress where I'm not sleeping at night. I'd sleep on plywood, pillar underneath my knees, had to roll over to get out of bed. My left leg would get out and I'd fall. So they had me see a psychiatrist because it was stress. Welcome to the world of antidepressants, Librium, Valium, Neurontin, and all that concoction of drugs to make you dumb as a rock. I mean, I was loaded up, but I'd fallen down the hallway asking for more Valium, more Librium. And I think the pills got to be worse than the problem. Years later, to get off the alcohol, I was actually drunk one night, among many nights, and started smoking a little pot. And realized I didn't have to get up the next morning puking, sick, and craving a drink. I'd be at the liquor store at 7 o'clock in the morning. Matter in hell somebody wasn't there. I needed a drink to go to work that day. I started smoking a little bit of pot and got off the alcohol where I could drink a 6-pack or a glass of wine. I didn't have to drink a case of beer a day. The pot back then helped me get off the alcohol. And I thought, well, it's just me. Talking to other combat veterans, which, combat vets talk to themselves, won't talk to nobody else. I found out that some of them had done the same thing, that they were drunks because there wasn't anything back then to help us. They didn't know what it was. About 10 years after coming back from Vietnam, I was on Short Street, and there's a combat veteran session. I thought, well, maybe I'll see somebody in my old unit, because I was told my unit didn't exist then. And it did. Went in, a man named Ivan Weir had me take a test, and have you been exposed to being shot at, see your friends killed, and the usual things combat veterans go through. So I answered truthfully, and he came out and said, you got post-traumatic stress disorder. And I said, okay, what kind of pill do I take? He said, you don't know what I'm talking about, do you? I said, oh, hell no. What are you talking about? He explained that if I had an 80 on the test, I'd be suffering from post-traumatic stress. I got 120, so I was the highest. There wasn't any higher you could go. So I agreed with him. I had a few little problems, nightmares, and all the PTSD symptoms were there, but I thought every combat veteran suffered from those, and that's just the way it's going to be. Well, the VA started loading me up on more drugs. Every 2 months we tried a different antidepressant. And I went in one day and there's a sign on the psychiatrist's wall that said, Prozac. I said, oh, doc, Prozac. Sometimes you feel like a nut, sometimes you don't. He said, we can try that. I said, no, wait. We've tried everything you can try. I pulled out from a bulldozer coming to the VA. I could see 500 foot down the road. I was that screwed up on legal medication for my condition. It was sometimes I didn't even get to speak and understand my psychiatrist. They couldn't speak English fluently, and I couldn't understand them. All I knew I'd come out with more drugs, and I was happy. Finally, I started realizing I've got to get off this. The VA told one time I was in the hospital for 21 days for back pain. Leg was giving out. They told me, don't weight train, don't start running. Well, you just spoke to a combat vet. I started going to chiropractor, started weight training, started running. It hurt. But then I started smoking a little bit of pot and realized I wanted to get off these drugs. They were killing me. And I started weaning myself off of every damn drug they said I'd never get off of. I'd be on the rest of my life. And finally I went to my doctor and said, Doc, I'll quit taking all these drugs. He said, you can't. I said, you can't do that. I said, I am. He said, how in the world did you do it? I said, I was sick. The hair on my head raised up. I said, I don't have a quality of life. You all are killing me. I want to get up and be able to run. I now run in a cemetery. It's half a mile around that cemetery. A lot of those people in there were friends of mine. I now weight train. I squat over 300 pounds. For a broken back, you can do anything you want to. But thanks to marijuana, smoking pot, it actually helped me get off all those concoction of drugs that they had me on that was destroying my life. Thank God I found something that grows naturally, and I know there's a stigma to it that I'm a drug addict now, and but I am not. And I'll take a test any damn day for that. I do have my bowl of pot in my house, and if I wake up at night in that nightmare when I'm wringing wet with sweat, and I see Kramer, his dead body, Rodriguez, his dead body, I see Marlo blowing up in front of me, I see the dead enemy hanging in a tree, bodies bumping against me, and I don't know if it's theirs or ours. If that nightmare gets so bad, I can't wake up and realize it's just a nightmare, I will light that pipe up, I'll be a criminal, I'll go back to sleep, but next morning I will get up at 6 o'clock like I always do. Now 4 days a week I go to the gym, I run, I help other veterans. I couldn't do that if I was on them damn drugs the VA had me on. It might not be for everyone. And I know I took a chance to come here to say this, but I've talked to other combat veterans. They said if they hadn't started smoking pot, they would be in front of their computer or watching TV or rolling around Walmart in a power chair. And forgive me if somebody does that, but they have a quality of life. And I'm very, very fortunate with a broken back and everything I've had, the little minor inconveniences. But I help other veterans. I get up and I enjoy life. And if it's some old plant that grows out here, so be it. It worked for me. Yeah. And it hasn't led me to any other harmful drugs or any, adverse lifestyle. I'm not the raving maniac out here that people say you get if you smoke pot, you'll be sticking a needle in your vein, you're going to be a crazed drug addict. I'm just an average combat veteran. There's nothing special, but if marijuana will help one veteran out here get over those nightmares, the memory loss, we write everything down. If it gives a quality of life back, why not do it? Instead of drugging these veterans up and destroying their liver, their lifestyle, let them have a quality of life back where they can be productive citizens again. God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you, sir.
Certainly appreciate it.